Hey Flosstube, it's Lori of Mischievous Stitches. It is Sunday, October the 22nd, and I'm back with my weekend update. This week I've only worked on one thing again, and that is Halloween Night by Imaginating. I'm just loving this. I love the happy colors. I've gotten a good bit done this week, or at least it looks like a lot, but I'm right in the center of the pattern where it's just full of words and letters, and they go pretty quickly. So this is where I am. Look at that. I started counting down yesterday in the border so that I could stitch one of the cute little mice, the dancing mice down there at the bottom. I just love those. So I started counting down. So I'm here. So I only have this bottom portion, so I'm 2/3 done, and I am going to be maybe not finished by Halloween, but I will be getting close, so I'm loving this. I stopped by to talk with you guys on Wednesday, and I forgot so many things to show you that I got from pals, and actually the things that come in the mail or were here waiting on me when I returned last week. Let's start with this needle minder. It says Stitching at the Beach, and Amy from Down Sunshine Lane gave those to all of us for attending the retreat. And we also got these as little gifts, and we had our choice of these little fobs. I think there was a bunny, I don't remember. There were several different ones, but this is from the Silver Needle. They donated this to give to us at the retreat, as you can see here. And it's just a tiny ruler. And for those of us that are at a retreat and didn't pack a measuring tape, this is a 2-inch true ruler, so you can measure in on your piece to get started if you're starting a new piece. So I chose that. And Roveris. I didn't buy any of their patterns, or I did, but I bought them for a friend. You know, the night before I left, after work, I met my friend Pam at a grocery store. And it was like a drug deal, meaning we were peddling cross-stitch there. So she had me meet her. We pull up, driver's window to driver's window. She hands me money. She texts me a list of what she wants, and asked me to get those patterns for her while I was at Pal's. And I thought it was so funny, meeting on the side of the road like that to do a deal for cross stitch. But anyway, so I was at their table getting those patterns for Pam, and I got this scissors fob, and it is a wool felted pumpkin. And just look at the detail. The ribbons, the tiny little pumpkin charm, and the moon, the spider web, and the witch hat. I just really love this. I have some black scissors that are actually my favorite scissors. They're Teflon coated, and they're wonderful. So I'm going to use this on those, if I can locate them. And then I got this counting pen. I just love this. It's all in the detail. I mean, can you see the top? It's just, I love it. So I got those. And my friend Michelle came over from Washington, and she gifted us with a counting pen and a little magnet. A needle minder magnet. And so this is the little counting pen, a little sheep. Isn't that cute? And happiness is crisp air and crunchy leaves. So it's one of the bottle cap, and she put a magnet on it to make it a needle minder. So I love this. So thanks, Michelle. And what else? I got a rack in the mail from Pam of Just Keep Stitching. She obviously saw in my video that I was looking at the redwork samplers for my sampler guild, and she sent this one out to me. So thanks, Pam, I appreciate it. Do love it. The counting house, or the sampler house, I've stitched one of their designs for a friend of mine, and I found it an easy stitch. So I love that. And I told you in the last video that I had purchased something from Erica Michaels. It was a sampler that she had used several of the small motifs in the sampler for a needle case and a scissors fob. So this is the sampler. I love this. So she had stitched just this and made a scissors fob, and then she used this motif and I think duplicated the greenery in the four corners and made a needle book. I just love this. I love the colors. Reds, burgundies, pinks, browns, that's me. This is golds, browns, and pinks and burgundies. My favorite colors are pinks and browns, so right up my alley. Love this. I may have to add this into my sampler. Yeah, we'll see. Then I had seen Australian Stitcher. I can't think of her name. I'll think of it later. But she was stitching C Street Sampler Works Queen of the Sea. And yes, it's okay when you look at the picture. But then I saw her stitch. It was Tash the Starcrest Stitcher. She was stitching this. And so you look at the pattern and you think, it's okay. But if you were in a shop, if I was in a shop looking at this, I would have gave it a pass because, yeah, it's nice, but, you know, it's not drawing to me. But as seeing her stitch it, I had to find it. So she directed me to an online shop that had it for like $20-something. And I thought, I don't know that I want it. I think it was like $28. I didn't want it $28 worth. Well, I waited and did a search on, followed a search on eBay. $5. I was so happy. So I did get it. And then, I'm not done. I also, how could I not get this? Everyone's stitching this up. Pumpkin Spice Farm. Love this from Kathy. Especially after seeing her Flosstube video where she told the story behind it and how that design almost didn't happen that way. And then, I told you all that I was, once again, the Sampler Guild was doing a red work sampler for this coming year, which will be one of my samplers for next year. And I ordered this one from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. So this is a Bristol orphanage sampler. This is Louisa Coolymore. Look at that. Love that. And of course, Nicola gives you all the information about the sampler, the history of it. Her charts are just... If you've not had a Hands Across the Sea sampler before, I mean, look, just the information about the sampler. And I'm going to show you just a portion, but look, the samplers are large enough to read. This is like a folder. You see the staples there? Just wonderful. And each page even has a small little tidbit of information on the actual more information. Love this. Love this. And actually she is coming to a local shop in January, and I will be attending that workshop with a few friends, and I'm really looking forward to it. And she just released a couple more samplers that I need to save up for that trip already. I know that I'm going to have more, but along with that sampler, she sent a card. And these cards, I purchased a couple of them, when I visited the grand opening of Sassy Jack's Stitchery in North Carolina, in Asheville, North Carolina. They have little charts on the back, so they're great to send out to a stitcher. So Nicola sent this to me with the sampler, and like I said, I'm very impressed with the way she does her patterns. Very impressed. High quality paper, easy to read, and me, I love the history behind a piece. So to have all that information about the orphanage, about the young lady who stitched the piece, love it, love it. And what else? I did buy the Christmas Ornament magazine from Just Cross Stitch. And I've got ideas floating in my head. So I've got a couple I do like. Not a lot, but a couple. I love the My Big Toe design. You know, pretty much if it's has scripture on it, depending on the scripture, but if it has scripture on it, I'm going to want it. This is the My Big Toe piece. And it says, "A Savior has been born, He is Christ the Lord." Love it. Love the colors. Love the way they finished it too with the beaded hanger. And, you know, I love Jolly Fat Men. So, I also love not the colors in this one, but the concept of a circular one. And so that's where my mind is going. I have ideas of how I want to use that, but interpret it a little different. The finishing a little different. So this is the other one I really like, and I think it's because they have, I don't know what type of fiber that is, or whether it's just cotton, but in his beard for his mustache. Really like that. But other than that, not a lot in here, but enough for ideas. And the good thing about these books is not, for me, is not necessarily the patterns, but is to see the pieces actually finished up, how the designers had finished them or had them finished, to give me ideas on how to finish the things that I do like. So keep that in mind too. I mean, you've got someone that's made mittens, added bells, looks like lace work in the back as a trim. And speaking of finishing, if you have not seen Kathy Haberman's latest video where she had sent off some of her older pieces to be finished, and how this lady, I think her name was Amy, finished these pieces, oh my goodness, talk about inspiration. Her Lottie Da, The Wicked Witch is Dead. Love it, love it. So go check that video out, because if you need finishing ideas, take a look. So anyway, so I went yesterday, and I'm just going to buy my way through my feelings the next couple weeks. No, not really. I have ideas to make ornaments for my tree. And so I went by Joann's with that in mind. And I've been by Hobby Lobby with my friend Dawn. So this is accumulation of this week and what I have bought. Now I bought these glass square ornaments. My idea was to get seashells and sand, since this was the 20th anniversary of Stitching at the Beach, and put the sand inside the glass ornaments with the shells, and either get a golden pen to write Stitching at the Beach 2017. I got the shells, I got these, I got the funny little quirky hangers. I didn't get the sand, so I don't think I'm going to be doing them. So I'm going to come up with something else. I've seen others that have used their orts to make Christmas ornaments. Maybe I'll do that, I don't know. But I have those. And I had to get these quirky little hangers. Look at those. So then, I don't have anything together yet because I've got to get started, but here's the balls. And here's some greenery for trim. And some pins. And some ribbons. These always come unrolled. I need one of those paper towel holder racks for these like Ivana has in her finishing cave. And then here are my fabrics because I love fabrics and I want to show them to you. So no, these aren't Christmas. What do you think? I have an idea how I want to finish this up, and I'm going to use these. So those are for that. And then I got these. As a child, being a child in the 70s, we used to have the owl and that cat in a little hard paper thing that we would hang on our front door. So I had to have this. Love it. Enough for a bag, if I so decide. And then I picked this up because does this not look like a Little House New York's fabric? If she had her own, Diane Williams had her own fabric line, and the color is not showing up as true as it in this video, but if she had her own fabric design line, her fabric line, this would be one of them. Love it, love it. The flowers are burgundy and not quite as red as they're coming up here. So these are for my ornaments. So we have trees with fabric, check, plaid with the snowflakes, and then the polka dot. So this will be for the little ornaments for the styrofoam balls. And this is just because these are my colors. So red check, plaid, little stars. I really, 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 really love that fabric. And then this. So ornaments. Now when am I going to do them? Well, that is the question. What am I going to do? And I got another one of these boxes because I love these boxes for storing. I have 1, 2, 3. This is my 4th one. One has Christmas designs. One has all the patterns I had kitted up to stitch this year that doesn't have many left in it. One has fabric for a quilt for my daddy. And so this has my supplies for these ornaments. So really love these for storage. And I really wanted a Halloween one, but they didn't have one this size. And besides, those were 40% off. And these were 60% off at Joann's. So, you know, save a dollar or two since I'm spending so much already. Oh, one other thing. I am terrible about, no, let me change that wording. I have no luck at all when winning giveaways, at all. So Amy held a giveaway last weekend at Pal's. Hold on, you may shake. You shook, you shook. I am terrible about winning giveaways. But look what I won. This is a grand cargo bag. Girl, y'all know I'm going to stuff this up with some cross stitch. I already have some things. I've got some packages I've got to mail off this week to some stitchy friends. Look at all room in the pockets. on the inside and outside. Love this. Love it. It's enormous. I thought the stitch bag that I had was huge. This fits in it like this comfortably with no problem. So, love it. Love it. Thanks, Amy. What else? What else? I think that's it. Between last week, what I showed you on Wednesday, and I have not ordered anything lately. I do have a trip planned for Saturday, tentatively. I ended up working this Saturday, so I was unable to go with Natasha, and so I was invited to meet someone here on Flosstube Saturday, and I would love to go, but hoping that I do not have to work again Saturday, but anyway. So other than that, that's all I've got planned. I don't think there's anything else going on with me this week. I'm just going to continue to stitch on Halloween nights. Once that's done, I know that I will pick up needles and pins again, because as I've said over and over, I want to get that finished up by the end of the year. Oh, one more thing. I shared it on my personal Facebook page, but did not put it on Instagram or tell you here. I got the results back from my fair entries, which, if you remember, was the tapestry sampler by Pat Rogers and Speak to the Earth sampler by Cooler Design Studio. First time I've ever made entries. First place on both of them. I was so excited. I did not get a chance to go to the fair, and of course Natasha texted me. She had made some entries. She went to view hers. She saw mine and texted me. And it just so happened that was the same day we were dropping Jacob off at Fort Jackson, which is in Columbia, which is where our state fair is. And so Clinton and I stopped by there on the way home, and I did get to see them. And of course, you can't go to the fair and not have the greasy, bad for you food at the fair. So we saw the designs, we saw all the different entries, which it has been a long time, to be honest, since I have attended a fair, much less went into the arts and craft building. There were lots of, I'm just curious. I did put out on Instagram, there was 2 display cases, which is front and back, full of just biscuits. Drop biscuits, buttermilk biscuits. And I thought, is this something that happens in every state? So I threw the question out there, and I got responses that no, that's not in every state. So I'm just going to tell you all the few of the things that I saw at our state fair, and I'm really curious as to if there's something special like that that is shown at your own state fair. So we had several cases full of pound cakes and bundt cakes. There was a case full of homemade candies with a few cupcakes. There was a couple cases of cookies, canned food items, such as, you know, the vegetables and the jams and the jellies and salsa. There's lots of relishes here. Trying to think of anything else. There was not very many woodworking things, and my dad is a woodworker, so I'm hoping that he will enter with me next year, as well as he does a pear relish that is to die for when you're eating sausage dogs. So I'm hoping to get my dad into it with me next year. But there was cross stitch, very little. So Julie, you were right. We really do need to get our items out there for everyone to see. But there was cross stitch, needlepoint. The majority of the needlework here in South Carolina at the fair was quilts. So lots of quilts were hanging, a lot of painting. There were some of the handmade wreaths that are real popular now. Some clothing. They had a lot of. They had a vintage display with military weddings. They had pictures with old handmade wedding gowns with the servicemen's uniforms there on display, which I loved, especially now with Jacob. And I think that's everything that really stood out in my mind. So give me some feedback. I would love to hear what special items or things that are unique to your state or your area. Like I said, here it was biscuits. So anyway, everyone have a great week. Get lots of stitching done, cross all the X's, and I will see you again next weekend. Until then, hugs and stitches. Bye-bye.